Welcome to the Power Your Voice podcast. I'm Delane Blazek, clinical counselor turned chief commercial officer and coach. This is where entrepreneurial women learn to grow revenue while staying all in on who they are. We're talking about real world issues and nothing's held back. Today, I want to talk about why sales is not a four-letter word, even though sometimes it feels like it. And honestly, I think women especially have a complicated relationship with sales because somewhere along the line, we started associating sales with manipulation, pressure, awkwardness, or feeling like we have to convince people of something. But let me tell you something. Sales is happening all day, every day, no matter where you realize it or not. In fact, I recently had one of the most ridiculous sales experiences while buying a car. I was taking my middle son, and it perfectly reminded me of why confidence, communication, and knowing your value matter so much. So here I am at the dealership, right? I already know the vehicle I want. I've done my homework. It's even a luxury brand. I took my middle son because I thought, what a wonderful experience. I can teach him how to buy a car. And I even know the value of my trade in. I understand financing. I completely understand negotiation. And I'm not walking in there asking where the windshield wipers are located. But from the second I walked in, you could just feel the undercurrent. You know the look. Oh, here's a little lady. She's going to buy a car. I wasn't given access to anyone. You know how it starts. You spoke with Sarah online. Well, guess what? Sarah's not available to meet with you today. Instead, you get Sam. Sam has been on the job for approximately 2 months, and Sam decides that he is going to cut his teeth on our experience. Hey, I know everybody's got to learn. But guess what? When we started working with Sam, we also got an entry level manager. So he kept disappearing into the back room every 5 minutes when we got to the negotiation phase to supposedly talk to the general manager. You know, the elusive general manager that felt like the Wizard of Oz, always behind the screen, never get to see him, don't really know if an actual human being is back there or if it's just smoke and finance rates. So at one point, here was the fatal error. The manager comes back with a cryptic little handwritten note from the mysterious general manager upstairs. And I'm not kidding you. Literally, on this paper was a smiley face, not just a smiley face, a poor caricature with a tongue hanging out that said, "Easy deal." Easy deal. Here we are in the middle of a negotiation. He's already been up there 4 times. And I keep sending him back up because I keep repeating myself. I want to negotiate a deal that's mutually beneficial. It's fair. It benefits both parties. I remember at one point, this inexperienced manager looked at me and said, "At this point, are you here to really make a deal on a car? Or are you here to negotiate principles?" And I told him, I don't think they're mutually exclusive, and neither should you, or we've got bigger problems to solve here. But I looked at him and said, when he showed me this note, "I want you to get a pen, because I have something to write back to the GM." He looked completely startled and a little bit afraid. He said, "Okay." Then he got a little excited because he thought, well, she might not get in trouble, but I most certainly would if I ever did this. So I told him what I wanted to write. I wanted to write, "I'm not easy." And I told him to write that, and all of the color went out of his face. My son was trying not to laugh, and I was trying to keep my calm as well. But here's the thing. That moment had nothing to do with ego. It had everything to do with respect. It was the assumption that because I was a woman, I didn't understand nor deserve negotiation and value and leverage. So what did I do? I walked out. I said, "Thank you for your time." And I remember the manager tried to give me his card. I said, "That won't be necessary. I'm going to go to the lot down the street. You were just my first stop because I preferred the color of this car over the other ones." So I get in the car with my son, and he said, "Hey, Mama, I can't believe that happened." And I said, "This is the way it is. Sometimes this happens, but that's fine. We're going to go down the road. We're going to get lunch," because we'd already been there way too long, a whole 45 minutes. And he was all of a sudden hearing that the phone was ringing. So we're both in the car. I know who it is, so I decline it. Calls again. I decline it. He says to me, "Who could possibly be calling us?" And I said, I know exactly who it is. It's the car dealership. He says, no way. And I said, way. Third time, I decided I should actually answer it because they all of a sudden wanted to have a real conversation. After we had a conversation, I ended up going back, but we restructured the offer first a little bit because I had been inconvenienced. And I accepted the deal on terms I felt good about and that were fair, which was what I wanted to begin with. I told him to get the car ready. I was going to take my son to lunch and then I would be back. But the entire experience reminded me of something important. Sales is not about pressure. Sales is about confidence. Sales is about communication. And sales is about understanding value. It's about solving people's problems and creating outcomes where both people feel respected. And you know what? The people who struggle most with sales are often the people who care the most. They don't want to sound pushy. They don't want to bother people and they don't want to be salesy. But if you truly believe in the work you do, then your responsibility is to learn how to communicate that value confidently. Because sales is not manipulation, it's education, it's connection, it's conversation, it's helping someone move from where they are to where they want to go over time. And confidence in sales has layers. The first one is self confidence, it's trusting yourself and your expertise. Next is sales knowledge, understanding human behavior, communication, and problem solving. Psych 101. And then there's sales delivery is number 3. It's the ability to communicate clearly, calmly, and confidently without apologizing for your value. And yes, sometimes you have to do it scared. Sometimes you have to do it before you feel confident. Sometimes confidence comes after the negotiation. Sometimes confidence even comes after walking out of the whole darn place and realizing, hey, wait a second, I actually do know what I do. I know what I do, I know what I'm doing, and I know how to do it well. That's growth. So if sales has ever felt uncomfortable to you, maybe it's time to redefine what sales really means. Because at its best, sales is simply helping people make empowered decisions that improve their lives and solve their problems. And for the record, never let anyone mistake your kindness for weakness, especially a guy holding a smiley face note in a dealership. If this episode has resonated with you and you're ready to build more confidence in your communication, leadership, business development, or sales conversations, we'd love to connect with you at soullesscoaches.com. We want to teach you more about coaching, consulting, retreats, and leadership. And if you're navigating growth in business or life right now, just know confidence is built one conversation at a time. Thanks for tuning in to the Power Your Voice podcast. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. You do have what it takes to be a successful woman in business. And if you're ready to step into new levels of success, subscribe, share, and join me next time as we talk about building revenue and the life you actually want. Until then, stay all in and keep powering your voice.